today's video, how 37 million patients could be saved from kidney failure by adding just 1 tablespoon a day. Catherine here, I'm a doctor of natural medicine, and if you have chronic kidney disease, today's video could change everything for you. Because if you are one of the 37 million people that are suffering from CKD, I don't need to tell you how scary it is to watch those lab numbers drop, or to wonder when your doctor will finally say the D word. But here's the truth. Most patients never hear, you can stop this decline, you can protect your kidneys, you can improve. Yes, even improve at any stage. And today, I'll show you exactly how. Because once you understand the #1 driver of kidney damage, you can take back control. Yes, there is one cause for kidney damage most people are vastly underestimating we need to take care of. I'm talking about inflammation. Because here is the thing. Chronic inflammation is the raging tempest dragging your kidney function down. And unless you escape its pull, your kidneys will keep declining no matter what else you try. Because here is the thing, you've probably been told that's diabetes that's causing irreparable damage to your kidneys, or maybe high blood pressure. Well, that's not completely true. It's the inflammation in the kidneys, not diabetes or high blood pressure directly, that cause scarring and permanent kidney damage. Yes, we need to stop the inflammation. But how do we do that, you ask? With the 5 tips of today's video, don't miss my #1 in particular. This is a vitamin that can stop the storm of inflammation from even forming. Before that, let's take a look at some of the most anti-inflammatory foods on earth. My #5 for today is the milk that fights inflammation. This is a super easy recipe you can make every day, and that will absolutely make a difference with your kidney health if your goal is protecting your kidneys from inflammation and kidney damage. Let's start from the main ingredient, because no food can compete with turmeric in terms of anti-inflammatory benefits. Let's add some turmeric in a cup. The active ingredient in turmeric, curcumin, is so powerful against inflammation, it can help people with CKD reduce their proteinuria levels. The way it does that is simple. It reduces the inflammation. For this reason, it can also help with arthritis, heart health, gut health, and diabetes. Not many people know this, but curcumin can directly reduce insulin resistance by improving beta cell function. It's basically the mechanic that stops your Evinrude from stuttering by fixing the carburetor. And that's why we are putting a ton of it in our milk. Please take a look at my recipe on screen if you want to see all the ingredients. Now, for the anti-inflammatory milk to work, you also want to add some black pepper. Black pepper is the wind in the sails of curcumin. Turmeric doesn't really work without it. Next ingredient is some ginger powder, which is mostly appreciated for, you guessed it, its anti-inflammatory properties. Ginger can lower blood sugar levels, which is an amazing benefit if you are dealing with diabetes, and it's been linked to lowered cholesterol levels as well. And not surprisingly, given its anti-inflammatory properties, studies are also linking ginger to improvements in the composition of gut microbiota. Never underestimate this benefit. Gut dysbiosis is a major driver of kidney inflammation. And now guys, just as if our milk recipe wasn't anti-inflammatory enough, let's add yet another incredibly powerful ingredient, olive oil. Olive oil is a lot more powerful than people realize. Have you ever heard about the Mediterranean diet and all of its anti-inflammatory benefits? Well, I'll tell you a secret. It's not the white fish that gives you the benefits. It's not the sourdough bread either. The Mediterranean diet, it literally stands on olive oil. It's true. You don't believe me? Well, look at the big title on screen right now. This is from a paper published on a reputable science journal. It basically says that if you remove olive oil from the Mediterranean diet, well, it's not just going to taste like a beach trip with no ocean. It's also rebranding from Mediterranean to Mediterranean. Yeah, so let's add 1 tablespoon of this kidney-saving miracle food to our recipe and use it to mix everything together. And for last, let's also add some hot almond milk or rice milk. Let's mix everything and enjoy! This is a super easy recipe with huge benefits for proteinuria, diabetes, gut health, and it's so powerful against inflammation, you will literally feel it in your joints. Or not feel it. So, before we move on, don't forget to share this video with anyone whose joint pain forecast is more accurate than the Weather Channel. Time to disrupt that prediction model. Because guys, most people think kidney recovery takes massive, complicated changes. But it doesn't have to be like that. Often, one small targeted tweak calms the storm and the numbers start moving your way fast. The hard part, knowing exactly where to look. That's what I help my patients with every single day. I offer one-on-one consultations, fully personalized and designed to get results fast. It's a science-backed approach that's already helped many real patients see real improvement. If you want to know more, send me an email at catherine@newhopeforkidneypatients.com or click the link in the description. But don't wait, there are only so many patients I can accept at once and these spots fill up quickly. Okay, let's move on to our number 4 for today. Because as I was saying, there is more to get rid of the inflammation than just adding a cup a day of that amazing milk we just discussed. The next step is all about your muscle mass, which is not something I talk a lot about here. I mean, you guys are more interested in your kidney health, but here is the thing. For people with kidney disease, building muscle mass is incredibly important. It won't just help mobility, bone health, blood sugar control, cardiovascular health, mental well-being, and improve your lifespan. Being able to build muscles will also significantly impact your kidney health by decreasing the inflammation. How is that possible? Let me explain. This you see here is the triangle of kidney damage. In people with CKD, muscle loss, inflammation, metabolic acidosis, and loss of kidney function are all strictly tied together. It's a vicious circle of doom that makes the Bermuda Triangle look like a weekend spa. I mean, it's like you're in your car driving on the highway and the engine, transmission, and battery all decide to break down at the same time while it's raining and the radio's stuck on a commercial for dialysis centers. Yeah, that's inflammation. Now, the medical community gave this muscle wasting party a fancy name, sarcopenia. I mean, not for the whole Bermuda Triangle disaster. Sarcopenia just means losing muscle mass and strength. But how do we stop it, you ask? Well, the first step is always exercising. Now, exercising is like the flex tape of medicine. It fixes literally everything, including things it has no business fixing. Need to lower blood pressure but pills don't work anymore? Hit the gym. Need to lose weight? Also the gym. Need to gain weight? Gym. Kidneys staging a revolt? Gym. Existential crisis? Gym. Your ex won't return your texts? Definitely gym. The economy is collapsing? Have you tried the gym? I mean, I'm half expecting my doctor to prescribe 3 sets of squats for my Netflix addiction at this point. But how does exercising fix the kidneys, you ask? Well, Resistance training signals muscle protein synthesis, preserves lean mass, improves insulin sensitivity, and can reduce inflammatory markers. So yeah, a lot of words just to say, hit the gym. Now guys, as I was saying, the other factor here is reducing protein intake. I will say that again. If you have CKD and you want to improve your muscle mass, you will need to reduce protein intake. And since some people seem to think that they are gonna die if they don't eat steak 3 times a day, here is a big, bold study that proves that what I'm saying is true. And now you may ask, how is it possible that every single influencer on earth is yelling, eat more red meat, like they breed cattle for a living, when CKD science says less protein equals more muscle? Well guys, in one word, metabolic acidosis. Okay, those are 2 words, but it's also our number 3 for today. The next hurdle we need to overcome to escape the triangle of kidney doom. Now, in order to stay as far away as possible from this whole situation, it's clear that metabolic acidosis needs to be taken care of. But how do we do that, you ask? Well, as I was saying, the very first step here is reducing protein intake, because despite what any influencer or cattle owner will tell you, no, eating steak all day isn't healthy for your kidneys. High protein foods, animal-based foods in particular, produce too much acid, more than what your kidneys can manage. And the result? Yeah, a disaster. How do we stop metabolic acidosis? Well, there are 2 things you can do to detoxify the excess acid that's in your blood and that's slowly eroding your bones, your muscles, and your kidneys. First of all, follow a plant-based diet. Look, if you are still not sure about going plant-based, I'll tell you a little anecdote. I had a new patient about 3 months ago who was being pressured into getting a fistula for dialysis. He was stage 5 and his sodium bicarbonate levels were too low, despite his doctor already prescribing a pretty high dose of sodium bicarbonate. And when metabolic acidosis gets so bad that even high dose sodium bicarbonate can't stop it, there is only one thing to do: dialysis. So, you know what I did? I got him started on a plant-based diet and removing every last bit of meat and cheese and replacing everything with mostly greens, fruits, and whole grains made a huge difference for that patient. Today, he is still not on dialysis because his numbers improved for the first time in many years. So yeah, keep that in mind if you are not sure yet about the plant-based diet. And of course, the other thing we can do against excess acid is sodium bicarbonate. Sodium bicarbonate is, simply put, a substance that neutralizes acid. We prescribe it to CKD patients when metabolic acidosis is present, and well, it works. It can seriously help normalize those numbers, and it can protect your bones, your muscles, and your kidneys from the danger of having too much acid going around. Okay, let's talk about the next step, our number 2. So before we see what vitamin can make all the difference in reducing the inflammation, let's talk food swaps. It's pretty clear at this point that what we eat can play a crucial role in fighting the inflammation, but it's not like we can survive on anti-inflammatory milk alone every day, right? So what foods should you avoid and what should you replace them with in a renal diet that also fights the inflammation? Well, as you can imagine, on top of the list of foods to avoid, we find trans fats. Everybody knows they're bad for you because they are inflammatory. And I mean, they are so bad that they are now banned in many countries. For example, margarine doesn't have them anymore, but you could still get some trans fats from fried foods and baked goods. So yeah, avoid those foods. So next thing on the naughty list, right after trans fats, we find saturated fats or animal fats. So one more reason to avoid meat and dairy, as if we needed it. Replace these foods with plant-based foods rich in omega-3s. Now, omega-3s are amazing. They are so good at fighting the inflammation. Supplementing omega-3s is basically a way to reduce the risk of end-stage kidney disease. Yeah, most of my patients are swimming in those shiny golden soft gels by now, and you should as well. And no, I don't sell omega-3s, but I know someone who does. Amazon! And you should also consider adding omega-3s rich foods to your diet, such as walnuts, chia seeds, and olive oil. Because it's not like you can only eat pills all day, right? Now, when it comes to inflammatory foods, we can't avoid mention red and processed meat, of course. What not many people know is that also refined carbohydrates, sugar in particular, do have an inflammatory effect on the body. And of course, the way you want to replace these foods is with fruits and vegetables. And guys, while most fruits and most vegetables have health benefits, some have more anti-inflammatory properties than others. So let's see what some foods you can eat every day and that have huge anti-inflammatory properties are. Take red cabbage, for example. Packed with anthocyanins and vitamin C, it helps calm inflammation and support immune health. Something else to consider is endive. It's loaded with polyphenols that can help fight oxidative stress. Onions, they're a humble kitchen staple, yet rich in quercetin, one of the most researched plant compounds for reducing inflammation. Don't forget pineapple. Pineapple brings the tropical vibes and bromelain, an enzyme that may help reduce swelling and pain. Last but not least, strawberries. Strawberries are full of vitamin C and antioxidants that keep both your heart and your kidneys happy. Okay guys, time for our number one for today. Let's talk about the vitamin that can actually stop the inflammation. This is the vitamin that's most often deficient in people with kidney disease. And if your levels are too low, you won't just suffer from proteinuria, depression, high blood pressure, and faster kidney function decline. In fact, according to the Journal of Inflammation Research, when you supplement this vitamin, your IL-10 production is going to increase. This is an anti-inflammatory cytokine that will directly calm the storm of inflammation. And if it's the literal Journal of Inflammation that says it, it must be right. They're literally inflamed with knowledge. So of course, the only vitamin that can slow down CKD progression, reduce proteinuria, lower blood pressure, and calm the inflammation is vitamin D, the kidney vitamin. Now guys, please pay attention to my slide on screen right now. When it comes to vitamin D, the goal is not literally bathing in vitamin oil. As much as you don't want this level to be too low, you don't want it to be too high either. So the goal here is to keep your 1,25 dihydroxyvitamin D level in range, which means above 30 ng per ml and below 100 ng per ml. To do that, all you need to do is test this level a couple of times a year and supplement this vitamin only if your level gets close or below 30. Anyway, it's all in my slides, so feel free to take a screenshot for reference. And if you want more kidney saving tips, my video up here will give you just that. And this is all for today. Thank you for watching. God bless you all. Bye!